Canelo, you a bitch. I'm putting it out there.
Bitch ass motherfucker. What happened?
I know that.
So what do I do, YouTube? It's your boy Katie in this thing, and I'm back at y'all again with another video. Okay, so before we get going on the video, man, y'all know what to do. Go on ahead, hit the like button, and if you're new here, be sure to subscribe one time for your boy, so we can continue to grow like we need to grow on this channel, man. Y'all know what time it is, man. Yes, sir. You know what I mean? Alright, so y'all see what the title of the video is, man. Demetrius Andrade versus Andrade and Benavidez will mark the best fighter at 168 pounds, right? Fuck Canelo. The best fighter at 168 pounds will be the winner of Andrade and Benavidez versus Demetrius Andrade, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. And you know, I know it's some Canelo Alvarez fanboy right now in the comment section, tears in their eyes and shit, all in their feelings. No way, KD. Canelo Alvarez has all the belts. He's the best, KD. Right? Niggas all in their feeling, crying and shit. I already know how you niggas get down when it comes to Canelo Alvarez. No logic, right? No common sense, no reason at all when it comes to your guy Canelo Alvarez. We already know how you niggas get down at the end of the day. But what I'm saying is the 100% unequivocal, unadulterated truth. The winner of this fight will be the best at 168, belts or not, right? Belts or not, right? Because even though Canelo Alvarez got all the belts, the fact of the matter is this man should have been stripped a long fucking time ago, right? He should be stripped. He shouldn't have any belts at 168 pounds at this particular point in time. He should, right? If all these sanctioning bodies were enforcing their rules like they supposed to be, this nigga would have been stripped a long goddamn time ago, right? But it's Canelo Alvarez. Everybody loves Canelo. So because of that reason, all these sanctioning bodies break their own goddamn rules and they allow Canelo to do whatever the fuck he want to do when it comes to representing their respective organizations, right? But check this out. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to break down exactly why the winner of Demetrius Andrade and Andrade and Benavidez will be the best at 168 pounds. Let me break it down, right? Let me break it down for the slow people. Let me break it down for the casuals. Let me break it down for the Canelo fanboy nut huggers. Let me break it down for you niggas exactly why the winner of that fight will be the best at 168 pounds, right? So glad that this fight is official because it's going to expose the fake, right? But the first reason why the winner of this fight will be the best at 168 pounds is, when was the last time Canelo Alvarez fought a 168 pounder? Let me say that shit again for the people in the back. Let me say that shit again for the people in the back. When was the last time Canelo Alvarez fought a 168 pounder? I'll wait. Right? Now, excluding John Ryder, a guy with 5 losses, right? Excluding that guy, right? Who honestly and truly didn't deserve a shot at the undisputed welterweight champion, considering he's in the same division as Andrade and Benavidez. When was the last time Canelo Alvarez fought a 168 pounder? If you think back, Canelo's last 4 opponents, out of Canelo's last 4 opponents, only one of them was actually a super middleweight. But the super middleweight that he fought had 5 losses before Canelo Alvarez fought him, right? But the other 3 opponents weren't actually super middleweights. Jermell Charlo, came up 2 weight classes to fight Canelo Alvarez at 168, right? That's 1. Triple G went up a weight class to fight Canelo Alvarez at a new weight class at 168. That's 2, right? And then Canelo goes up a weight class to fight Demetrius Bivol at 175. That's 3. So this man, out of the last 4 opponents, has only fought 1 super middleweight, right? And prior to that, and then the super middleweight he did fight was a guy with 5 losses. And then prior to that, the last super middleweight fight, legitimate fight, was against Caleb Plant back in 2021, 2 years ago, right? So this man ain't fighting super middleweights. So how in the hell can we call him the best super middleweight? Don't you gotta fight super middleweights in order to be called the best super middleweight? I'm confused, right? I'm confused. Shouldn't you be fighting super middleweights in order to be called the best super middleweight, right? So that's the first reason. Canelo ain't fighting super middleweights. His last fight was against a junior welter or a super welterweight, right? You ain't fighting no super middleweights. So how in the hell can you call yourself the best super middleweight? I'll wait, right? So that's the first reason, right? The second reason, the winner of Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez will be the best super middleweight, is that both of these guys would beat the hell out of Canelo Alvarez. Look, I know you fanboys right now in the comment section, hella in your feelings, crying right now, emotional as fuck. No way! I know you niggas are hella emotional right now in regards to this video, right? I know you niggas are saying that I'm lying. I don't know shit about boxing, blase, squaze, yakety schmackety. But both of these guys would put hands, feet, and everything else you can think of on Canelo Alvarez, right? Both of these guys would hurt Canelo Alvarez badly. Both of them, right? In the case of David Benavidez is simply just a bigger, badder version. A bigger, badder, younger version of Canelo, right? A bigger, badder, younger version of Canelo at the end of the day, right? Right? A bigger, badder, younger version of Canelo, right? Got the power, got the speed, comes forward, Mexican style, head down, right? Got the conditioning, got a chin, right? Bigger, badder, younger version of Canelo Alvarez at the end of the day, right? So what happens when you get in a ring with a bigger, badder, younger version of yourself? You get your ass whooped, right? That's what happens. You get your ass whooped, right? David Benavidez will beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez at the end of the day. Right? The punches and bunches and it would be problems. It'd be a nightmare for Canelo, and Canelo knows this, because if he thought it would be an easier fight, he would have took it years ago, but he didn't, right? And then in the case of Demetrius Andrade, he would be a complete and utter nightmare for Canelo Alvarez for multiple different reasons. The footwork alone will give Canelo Alvarez problems, right? You saw a version of it when he fought Demetrius Bivol, right? You saw a version of it when he fought Demetrius Bivol. Demetrius Bivol gave Canelo angles, gave Canelo distance, gave Canelo combinations, so much so that he wasn't able to handle it and got dominated for 12 rounds. What do you think Demetrius Andrade would do? A guy who has better feet than Bivol, a guy who has faster hands than Bivol, and a guy who has pop on his punches, right? What do you think Demetrius Andrade would do? What do you think somebody with the boxing IQ and acumen of a Demetrius Andrade would do to Canelo Alvarez? Get out your feelings for a second and let's talk boxing. What do you think a guy like a Demetrius Andrade would do? The footwork of an Andrade, the speed of an Andrade, the awkwardness of an Andrade, the ranginess of an Andrade, right? Canelo Alvarez in his Tyrannosaurus Rex arms probably wouldn't even be able to touch him, right? It would be an embarrassing night for Canelo Alvarez at the end of the goddamn day, right? And you niggas know it. You know it. That's why you do everything in your power in order to keep this dude far, far away from Demetrius Andrade. But the real boxing fans know the truth. The real boxing fans know that Canelo Alvarez wants no part of Demetrius Andrade, right? The real boxing fans know the truth. The real boxing fans know why that's the case. Because Canelo Alvarez would get his ass whooped by Demetrius Andrade, point blank, period, in the discussion, right? But that's the second reason why the winner of this fight would be the best super middleweight. Because both of these guys would beat the hell out of Canelo Alvarez, point blank, period, in the discussion, right? That's the second reason, right? And then the third reason why the winner of this fight, Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, would be the best super middleweight, right? The third reason why is because Canelo Alvarez has been ducking both of these guys for years on top of years on top of years on top of years. We already explained that these dudes would both beat the shit out of Canelo Alvarez, right? We already explained that. We know that that's the truth, right? The real boxing fans know, right? And Canelo, the problem is that Canelo Alvarez knows this as well. So what he does is he stays far, far away from Demetrius Andrade and David Benavidez, right? I mean, it's human nature. When you know somebody can whoop your ass, you stay away from them, right? You know what I mean? I mean, it's not hard to figure out. When you know somebody can whoop your ass, you stay away. Right? You stay away. That's all you do. It ain't hard to figure out. You stay away. You make up excuses why you don't want to go nowhere near him, right? You say they a horrible fighter. You say they ain't fought nobody. You say they ain't do this and you say they ain't do that, right? You say they don't sell no tickets. You say they don't generate revenues. You say they don't do this. It's all duck language at the end of the day, right? It's all duck language. When you know somebody can whoop your ass, you stay away from them. It's not hard to figure out, right? I know these dudes will whoop Canelo Alvarez's ass, and he know that these dudes will whoop his ass because he stayed away from them. David Benavidez has been this man mandatory the last 2 years with the WBC, and Canelo Alvarez ain't never decided to fight this man. For what? For what? But you turn around and you fight John Ryder, a dude who just became the mandatory the fight before, 4 months before. John Ryder became the mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, fought him right away. But David Benavidez has been sitting there for 2 years as a mandatory for Canelo Alvarez, and we ain't get no movement in that department. I wonder why. I wonder why, right? I know you niggas are in your feelings. No, AKD, no. I wonder why, right? And in the case of Demetrius Andrade, I mean, Canelo Alvarez has been ducking this man for an entire decade. How do you duck somebody a whole fucking decade, right? I don't think I've ever heard of that in the history of boxing. Another fighter ducking another fighter for an entire decade, right? An entire decade of ducking, right? Why do that if you're not confident that other fighter would whoop your ass? Why do that, right? Why do that? Why do that? Canelo Alvarez was the mandatory for Demetrius Andrade's belt at 154. Waited for him to get stripped due to inactivity by trying to make that fight, and then fought the dude that inherited the belt after Andrade was stripped, which I may add took at least a year or two for him to actually get stripped, for Canelo Alvarez to duck, dodge, maneuver all over the goddamn place. Dude fought Amir Khan and James Kirkland instead of the champion Demetrius Andrade for a belt, right? Instead of the champion Demetrius Andrade for a belt. Then go up to 160. Collects all 3 belts from Triple G. Right? Has an opportunity to become the undisputed champion at 160 pounds and fight Demetrius Andrade. but instead decides to move up 2 weight classes to fight Sergey Kovalev in a fight nobody cared about, right? What kind of mega duck is that? You got the opportunity to be undisputed. You got one guy standing in your way between you and undisputed, but instead you want to move up 2 weight classes to fight Sergey Kovalev at a weight class that you ended up not even staying at longer than a fight, right? I mean, this is the type of shit Canelo Alvarez did in order to stay away from Demetrius Andrade, right? I mean, the story goes on and on. Y'all get my point. But the moral of the story is, Canelo wanted no smoke with either of these guys, right? He wanted no smoke with either of these guys because both of these guys would whoop his ass, right? He ran from these guys for years because both of these guys would whoop his ass, right? He decided he would fight a 154-pounder, a 175-pounder, a 160-pounder instead of a 168-pounder for years because he knew the remaining 168-pounders would whoop his ass, right? So the moral of the story is that the guys that would whoop his ass are fighting, and the winner of that will be the best super middleweight in boxing. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna wrap the video up right here, man. Let me know what your thoughts is, bro. Hit it up in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. And everybody, and I do mean everybody, be sure to hit the goddamn like button on your way out. But until next time, bro, I'ma holla at y'all, man. Peace.
He called me a horrible fighter, but he just got beat by like a basic foundation.